In today's video, what we're going to be talking about is my high school years. We've already talked about when I was in elementary. We talked about when I was in junior high. A lot of the things that I did in junior high started to get worse when I got in high school. Because if in junior high I wanted to be cool, in high school I wanted to be even way cooler. And a lot of the people that I knew in junior high were already in high school, right? And so they were already hanging around with the people that had established their things out there in high school. And so I wanted to be part of that, right? I already had started smoking weed. I was doing a little bit of drinking. I was ditching school off and on. I had this little girlfriend. You know, she was good, but she didn't get high or anything like that. Her parents were real strict, and so I continued to do what I was doing. Now, when I was in high school, I was introduced to PCP, cocaine, crack, and crack was what took me all the way down. But before I get into that crack part, one of the things that happened is at the age of, I would say 15 or 16, I joined another gang. Now, mind you, in my last video, I talked about where I was part of a football team. This football team started to do things that gang members were doing. They were jumping people in. They were, gang banging. They were writing on the walls. And so I wanted to be part of that. And so I started to do the same thing, right? Now, where our football team was, we were in the center of a neighborhood. And what happened is that neighborhood did not like that we were writing all over their walls and putting our neighborhood, our club up. So they said, you got two choices. Either you join our gang and become one of our cliques, or you guys can leave. Some of the guys left and they went to another neighborhood. I stood there. And when I stood there, I ended up getting into that gang. Mind you, when I got into that gang, while I was getting jumped in, I got my jaw broken. And so I thought I was cool. For 6 months, I couldn't eat. But I thought I was cool because I was part of this gang now. Nobody could really mess with me, right? And so at the end of the day, what happened to me is this gang used to sell a lot of PCP. And so what I started to do is I started to smoke the PCP. Monkeys can't sell bananas. Remember that? So I thought I was cool because I was selling the PCP, but I was also smoking it. And in the midst of smoking it, I would lose it. I would lose the bottle. And so, that's a whole another story, but it doesn't matter. And what happened is I started to juggle drugs around. And so this is why I always tell people that are out there using drugs. When you switch one drug to another, you always end up going back to the drug that you really like, to your drug of choice. It always happens. It might not happen right away, but it always happens. And that's what happened to me. I started to smoke PCP, then I went to crack, then I smoked some weed, then I went back to PCP. I mean, I just kept going. Now, mind you, I got arrested and I went to prison at the age of 18 for second-degree robbery on a federal agent, trying to find some money to go get high. I robbed a federal agent that was in plain clothes and got busted and ended up doing like 3 years. And so now I really thought I was cool because I had gone to prison. You know? Now, let me go back a little bit. Let me backtrack just a little tiny bit. When I was in high school, I was really hooked on crack. And I needed 6 months to graduate. And I ended up dropping out. Mind you, imagine 6 months to graduate and then you drop out because you were smoking crack. Well, I've gotten over that, you know. But when I started to think about it, I was like, I can't believe I did that. But I was so hooked on it, and I couldn't get away from it, that the next right thing for me at that time was to quit school, because school was getting in my way. And so I quit school. I dropped out. You know, I had got kicked out of the school that I was at because I got into a fight with another gang member. They sent me to another school, and you know what I mean? And that school was kind of far. I had to take like 2 buses to get to that school. And so in the midst of smoking crack and trying to get to school, I just said, this is just too much. I'm done. I'm just gonna get high. This is getting in my way. And my mom couldn't do anything about it. I was grown. You know, I was 17 years old. So with that being said, I'm going to stop my video right here. I will continue what happened after I got out of high school, or after I dropped out of high school. See you guys all later. Bye.